phrase women in science, what do you think about it?
I think it is something that is really our generation. I think in the new generation, in the present generation, in the youth today, there's not much of a difference. But I can tell you way back in the 90s, in the North, there was a lot of improvement already, but there was still a big difference being a woman in science or science-related areas. When I say that, it's because we do have a lot of struggles. We have to be mothers, we have to be wives, we have to be good daughters, daughter-in-laws, and then be successful in your career. Today, because of our generation and the successes that we see in our generation, our next generation are able to take it better. And we embrace that. We embrace that challenge and we embrace that difference. So if you ask me, being a woman in science is an empowering sentence. It means that we have walked very far to come to where we are. But we came to what we are today, not because of us, but it was because of the generation before us.
Do you think there's a gender disparity in science, at least in the STEM careers, related to men and women? And do you think women are underrepresented?
Yeah, when you look at the higher management in science-related areas or engineering-related careers, you always find more men than women in the management or in the board meetings. I personally do not think that there is a disparity in terms of intelligence and capability. I believe it's really a disparity in opportunities. I always believe if you give equal opportunity to a man and a woman, the woman will excel. Because genetically, we are supposed to make it last longer. Women live longer, women last longer, women can take pain better. But why do you see this disparity? Sometimes it's a self-inflicted stress onto your own. Women somehow are born perfectionists. They want the perfect career, the perfect household, the perfect bag, the perfect baby. And it's that kind of stress that gives you that inability to compete when you think you have lost already. If a woman thinks that she has lost already, she would rather not compete than to see the outcome. I believe that's a hurdle, and that is a barrier to a lot of women. When I first started, I knew I started from zero. And for me, I knew anything above zero, going up one step, is already a victory. So I think women should take it step by step and not make so many goals or unrealistic goals. You know, you don't have to have a gifted child to be successful. You don't have to have a wealthy family or to have, a good paycheck to be successful. I think these things should not be measurements of success.
So coming to your journey as being a woman in science and extremely successful, what are the challenges that you have faced along every step that you had to take to get to this level, being the CEO of various laboratories and so on?
Mm-hmm. The biggest challenge I have is time management. How do I live 24 hours more fruitful than someone else? If you can manage your time better than the next person, then you have already won half the war. I believe in delegation. I don't try to do things all by myself. I don't think I have all the strengths that I need to build my career and my family. I will look in the strengths of my people and the people around me, family and friends and in employees, so that they can share that with me. Those who are better than me in certain things would take care of those things. So I think a big part is really being a good manager. Really, before you start a career or before you even do anything, think about how you manage your goal and how you progress from 0 to 1, then from 1 to 2 and so forth. Of course, there are many instances, but another one I'll talk about is family. Now, my daughter is now secondary too, 14 years old. In Singapore, we have the primary school leaving examination when they are 12 years old. That means in primary 6, an important examination. And I told myself, why should I bother so much about the exam? It is her exam, not mine. I've done mine. I did very well for my exam. People say, oh, how is the PSLE going? I say, oh, I did very well, thank you. You know, I always have that, actually I think it's a problem. I see a lot of mummies, I see a lot of parents being very, very hands-on and being very, very overly protective and very careful of the scheduling of the kids, going to tuitions, going to enrichment and and doing well in school. And I don't do a lot of that. I admit I don't do a lot of that. In fact, my daughter is 14-years old, and this is the first time I'm volunteering her school for a camp. I don't even go for the parents and teachers meeting. And I think that's a problem. I feel that when a woman is too much into a career, either she could manage both, and honestly, I don't think I'm a good manager of both. I think I'm an excellent manager in career, but when it comes to the family, I tend to take a back step. I tend to let my kids grow normal and be happy. I can tell you, my kids don't do very well in school, but they are the happiest kid you know. They love their life, they enjoy so much, they have so much freedom. And I pride myself by telling myself, which I don't know whether it's good, that my kids are happy.
Yeah.
You know, normal, healthy, happy kids. But I always tell myself, education is not about grades. It's never about grades. It's a process of growing and the love of learning. So as I said, these are the two things that I taught. You see, I sort of psych myself to telling myself that I can't have it all.
Right.
I need to make a good balance.
Sometimes women put down themselves, or they don't want to progress because they want to have more attention on their family life, or they feel they can't do it. And I've heard this in a lot more other events as well, like women in science events around Singapore and so on. Why do you think that concept is still there, or why do women feel they can't go forward?
That's a very good question. And I want to tell you, in Veritas, we take pride in being women. And we are proud that the people here who are women are strong women, and we support them fully. We value our family above our career. If anybody does not value family above career, then this person is not normal. Only when you have a good family can you advance in a career. In Veritas, we support all the women who are going to be mummies, who are pregnant, who are breastfeeding, who are looking at their children. We actually welcome that. We celebrate that.
Do you think that they should have a mentor? Or have you had mentors along your life? And what is your take on having good mentors or inspirations along the growth of your career?
It's always important to have somebody to look up to. For me, it's my mother. It's actually anyone's mother is already has gone through a lot to be one of the role models that people should follow. My mom is a teacher, and she's a retired teacher. So she was also a career lady, right? I mean, she's teaching and bringing up the children. So I look up to her in many ways.
So we are at the end of the interview. Would you like to leave our audience with some notes or some pointers as to how they can be successful in life, or how they can be happy in both career and family and so on? And just a line about how do you do it all?
I think one of the ingredients to success is to be able to step back and look it from another person's perspective. It's never good to be always me, my thinking, my preference. Step back and look at the situation and see how you could improve the lives of the people around you. I think a person who can embrace that is a person who's going to be successful. Because everybody is rooting for you to be successful so that they can be part of the success story. In the company, if you are a manager and you are in an executive position, always remember that the people who work under you are not your slaves. They have their lives and they have their reasons to work. They have their strengths as well as weaknesses. You really have to understand what they are in here for. If they're in here for a job that they can be good at, give them the job. If you're going to give them something that they're not going to excel in because it's not their strength, then you're not managing the person rightly. It's not her fault or his fault, it's your fault. You didn't manage the person. If you can manage the people around you well, you have already solved half the problem. So this is the message I want to give to your readers.
Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to interview you, and I'm sure our readers and viewers are going to enjoy what you said. And you are an inspiration, especially to me, to everyone else in our team as well, and I hope to the millions of women around the world. Thank you.
Thank you.